What do you call love that disappears when life gets hard? I thought my boyfriend was my rock until I got sick. That's when I discovered that his promises were just words and his love was never real. We had been dating for 2 years. He wasn't just my boyfriend, he was my safe place. The one who made me laugh when I was stressed. The one who swore that no matter what, I would never be alone. When I started feeling weak and constantly tired, he held me and whispered, "We'll get through this together." At first, I believed him. I trusted that love was about standing beside each other in the storms. But as the doctor's visits multiplied, as the tests dragged on, I noticed his warmth cooling. His eyes no longer sparkled with reassurance. They darted away as though my illness was a burden too heavy for him to carry. It started small. A text left unanswered for hours, a canceled date because he was too tired. Excuses that didn't fit the man I thought I knew. I told myself, he's stressed, he'll come around. I gave him patience, grace, understanding. But then came the silence. The night I texted, "I need you," and nothing came back. No call, no visit, just silence. Hours stretched into days, days into weeks. I realized I wasn't just waiting for a text. I was waiting for a man who had already left me without saying goodbye. So tell me, would you forgive someone who ghosted you during your hardest time? Or does leaving when your partner gets sick reveal their true colors? And if the person you loved began pulling away right when you needed them most, would you hold on tighter or let go before the silence broke you completely?
The truth came from others. Friends told me they saw him out, not at work, not at home, but laughing, drinking, living his life as though nothing had changed. And me, I was lying in bed, too weak to move, clutching my phone, waiting for a message that never came. The boy who once said, "You're my everything," couldn't even send a 2-line goodbye. I asked myself over and over, was I that easy to forget? Did my sickness erase my worth in his eyes? Here's what hit me hardest. Real love doesn't vanish when things get tough. Real love doesn't ghost you. And yet, even with the anger, I still missed him. Part of me hoped for the sound of his knock at the door, a desperate hope that he would walk in, apologize, and say, "I was scared, but I'm here now." But he never did. Instead, I was left with questions, spinning in circles. Did he ever love me? Or was I simply convenient when things were easy? Closure never came. No explanation, no apology, just an absence that grew louder every day. But maybe closure isn't something someone gives you, it's something you create for yourself. I chose to stop waiting for a ghost. I decided that his leaving said more about his character than it did about my worth. Because if he couldn't love me at my weakest, he never deserved me at my strongest. So what's truly harder to face, being ghosted with silence or hearing a painful truth that shatters everything? And if someone abandoned you at your weakest, would you ever let them back in? Or is real closure only found when you finally walk away for good?
You know, hearing stories like this, and living through something similar myself, changes the way you see love. Because here's my truth. I once had someone who disappeared when I needed them most too. Not in sickness, but in hardship. When my world was falling apart, they quietly stepped out instead of standing beside me. And the silence hurt more than the pain of the struggle itself. It taught me something I wish I had known earlier. People who love only when it's easy are not loving you, they're loving the comfort of what you provide. Love that vanishes in sickness, in struggle, in hardship, that's not love. That's convenience disguised as affection. And yet, I know it's not black and white. Some people leave not because they don't care, but because they're scared, because illness or crisis feels overwhelming. So I'll ask you, do you think walking away in times like these is weakness or brutal honesty? Would you forgive someone who abandoned you if they came back with regret? Or is abandonment in moments of deepest need a betrayal that can never be repaired? I don't just want to tell this story. I want us to talk about it, because I know some of you watching this have been through it too. Maybe you were the one abandoned. Maybe you were the one who left. Maybe you've seen it happen to a friend or family member. So let's make this more than just a story. Let's make it a conversation. If you've ever been ghosted by someone you loved, how did you move on? What advice would you give someone who feels too weak to let go of the person who hurt them? And do you believe that sometimes people leave not because they don't love, but because they're terrified of what love requires when things get hard? Here's my advice from what I've lived and learned. Don't beg someone to stay who has already shown you they can walk away. Don't confuse someone's absence as proof of your unworthiness. It's proof of their inability. And most importantly, don't let someone's cowardice make you fearful of loving again. But I also know my story isn't the only one. That's why I want to hear yours. Because sometimes the best healing comes from realizing we're not alone, that someone else has walked the same dark road and survived. So drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your stories, your advice, your experiences. You never know, your words might be exactly what someone else watching this needs to hear tonight.